It is Free Flow Friday. Don't believe the hype. Donovan Sadiq. Demetra K is in the house from the Demetra K Show. And as you guys have heard, if you probably have not noticed, Kamala Chameleon Harris is out of the race. But before we get into that, we want to thank those guys that make it happen here. Marcus Guyton, who always gives us a lot of watch groups and stuff like that. We're on all the platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Tumblr, you name it, Twitter. We are there. So if you're looking for the information, please check it out. Also check out my co-host here, Demetra K on the Demetra K Show. Facebook Live. You can interact with her. 3 p.m. Pacific
Go ahead,
Standard
brother.
Time.
I know how you feel.
Yes.
You got
Standard Time. You guys are going to check her out for the show there. And again, I don't know if you guys saw the last show. What did we talk about the last show?
I don't remember.
Billy Smooth D.
Billy D.
Being fluent. And as if you guys have been picked up, he has recanted that.
Yeah, and just so we can pick up on that just a little bit. So Billy D. Williams said that he was gender fluid in an article. I guess it was a lot more to it, but that was what people ran with, including us. He said he was gender fluid.
Not us, her.
He embraced both of his sides, the feminine and the masculine side, and this, that, and the other. I guess once he heard all the backlash about what people were saying about him being gender fluid, he
recommended reading this book that he read.
Yeah, all of that, right.
That
so then he
explains,
said, and I'm paraphrasing, oh my God, is that what gender fluid means? I'm not that. He says, I'm not gay. No, not saying anything bad about gay
I
people.
like big titties, big ass, big everything.
He didn't say that. So he's saying that he didn't know what gender fluidity meant, and so he is not that. He is all man, baby.
Oh, man.
So I just thought we'd clarify
And when
that.
I drink a Colt 45, it works every time. That's how he was. So
we're a hint of Viagra.
Yeah. So we're going to get back into that. And also, what I would like to share is a coffee mug with you guys that I'm going to be sporting, and Demetra's sporting right now. If you could kind of show them. And it says non-whites only. It's a coffee cup and
from South Africa
at the South African Museum.
So basically, he said if you ain't black, you can't drink out of this cup.
Can't drink out of the cup. So, but let's get into it real quick. And again, thank you guys again for taking the time. I know you guys are in traffic out there, probably stuck. So you said, "Hell with it. Let me go."
Oh, let me show YouTube. I forgot to show YouTube.
Let me go ahead and just turn this thing on and hear this foolishness and the shenanigans. And for those of you guys that are in college, finals are coming up. We got a week or two left. We got review next week, and then the finals the week after that, and then we will be free to go out and get
about the country.
And get involved in holiday madness as we've been doing.
Okay.
So what I want to talk about, as you guys have never heard, is the Kamala Chameleon. And I say Chameleon because isn't it amazing how she warped into these various things to try to get people to come into her campaign, and it just didn't work. Now, when she announced in Oakland, her hometown supposedly, she was raised in Canada, but her hometown is, I guess, Oakland. 20,000 people showed up, and we did a show on that, and we helped get the word out there that this lady is running. Unfortunately, she has said that because of money, she is not a billionaire. She cannot fund her campaign. Well, go back to your side chick ways. You can get that at a billionaire to give you a little something. I mean, it worked for Willie Brown. It worked for Willie Brown. He gave her a BMW when she was putting it on him. Okay, so I'm just saying.
I mean, I don't know how much a BMW is worth at its highest, but I don't think it's going to fund the campaign.
Yeah, right. But she can get her a billionaire. She's got connections. You're a senator. It's all about connections.
She's probably about 20 years older than she was back then.
Yes, that's true. That's true. So you guys remember, Congress is all about influence and connections. They don't care. You could be the lowest congressman, but you have influence to the lobby. That's what the lobby thing is about. So 20,000 people, she announced she was going to be the next big thing, female, color. She's Obama-esque, which was another reason she should not have run, talking about she's going to bring back the Obama coalition, because for 8 years, the Obama coalition was being obstructed.
Right.
So that was dumb. I mean, she made mistake after mistake after mistake. So she's run this campaign, and after she announced in Oakland, she flies all the way to her alma mater, which is Howard University, and she's a AKA, I believe.
Soror.
Yeah, she's a soror. I believe she's an AKA. And from what I get from being an AKA from her shenanigans is, being side chicks. That's what I would get. But I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that's the impression I get.
Okay.
Because Kamala's political history started as a side chick for Willie Brown. He was still a married man at the time. But, that's neither here nor there. She's out of the race, whatever. So here we are. She goes over there. She announces over there. And your boy, Ricky Smiley, oh, we heard Pamela's announcing. Y'all, come on now. We got to get our sororo in there. Blah, blah, blah. Ricky, okay, that's great. She announced. A lot of people announced. I've ran for president 4 times. I don't see people getting that excited about me.
Okay.
But, it is what it is. It's one thing to tell people to run for her, but run for her for what? What is her platform? What is she?
Hey, Didi.
Yeah, what is she going to do? And he never explained that. And whoever was advising her, if you're going to run for president in the modern age, you definitely do not run getting Hillary advisors and Hillary fundraisers. It does not take a genius for me to tie you to Hillary Clinton, who just lost the last election. Another misstep by Miss Harris. Then she attacks Joe Biden in a debate. Of course, that was her landmark, pivotal, highest point.
Oh, I was that girl.
The
busing issue.
Right, but here's the bad thing about what she did. You don't practice that and then have T-shirts right after the debate to give out to people as it was already pre-planned because you don't feel
genuine.
You don't feel like you're an authentic type person.
Right.
Then she goes on the Breakfast Club and before that, remember that video? She's dancing to a
50 bounce.
Yeah, a 54-year-old woman dancing to Cardi B. 54-year-old woman dancing to Cardi B. But it worked for Clinton. Didn't he play the
saxophone?
Right.
Arsenio Hall, yes.
Right. And didn't Obama pop? No, he didn't pop, but you know what I mean? I mean? It's like, why do they come over there and insult us? We're not in those times anymore. The internet, people are just more into, what they're doing. So I'm going to hit sum this up real quick. So another misstep. Then she goes on the Breakfast Club and she says she used to listen to, A Tribe Called Quest and these albums that never existed. Tupac.
You know what I'm saying, Fife?
Yeah. She had already graduated by then.
Oh, she's talking about Snoop. She smoked weed to Snoop.
Yeah, Snoop and all this other stuff that never existed. Another misstep. Then you go on the show and you laugh and about the marijuana you smoke, and then when you get into public office, you lock up people for doing the very same thing that you were doing. Another misstep. So this woman had a plethora of missteps, and then you look at her platform. She was all over the place. She didn't stand for anything. She's saying one thing for Medicare for all, then she retracts it. There's a whole bunch of stuff like that. So a lot of black women just when it not all. I'm saying there's a good thing, but I'm talking about like the boomers, right. Black women were like, oh my God, she was the one, whatever. This woman never identified as a black woman until she ran for office. If you look at any of her things, she was always the Indian woman, the first Indian woman.
American Indian.
Who's that lady that's on the show? She's an Indian lady. She was on she's an Indian lady. She had a show, Mindy something.
I know who you're talking about.
2 weeks ago, they were on a cooking show, and Mindy was saying, oh, yeah, Kamala, me and you have a lot in common. Now, remember, in the Indian society, they have a caste system. Kamala's mother comes from the highest order of the caste. It ain't like she's from the hood. Kamala's mother was a professor.
Mindy Colleen.
Yeah, Colleen or something like that.
She's very dark.
Yeah, very dark.
Yeah.
But they have a caste system. The Indians don't really go by color. They go by the system that they're born into. So their parents are from the highest caste.
Got it. So,
here you are cooking and stuff, and you're doing it. It's sad to see Kamala go, but I'm not surprised. And we called it here.
Come on, now, is you really sad to see her?
No, I am, because, we need something different. We need a progressive. How can you sit there and say you were a progressive DA and you locked up over 1,200 people? You know what I mean? What did you do progressive? You keep saying, well, my progressive stance is the thing for the nation. Okay, where's the progressive stance? I looked. You didn't do anything but enforce Joe Biden's crime bill to the maximum of locking black asses up. Period. So, I'm confused. And so a lot of my friends are like, oh, you just hated her because she was a woman, whatever it is. How can anybody say that? You guys aren't ready for a woman president, blah, 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 blah. Wait a minute. Hillary Clinton was nominated. Why did she lose? Was it black people's fault? No, it wasn't. It was white people's fault. White women changed their vote. No matter how many times Donald sexually assaulted women and, white women and all that other stuff like that, it didn't matter to them.
Right.
Hillary was a bad candidate. Kamala Harris was a bad candidate. So, let me hear your opinions about that, and let's see what we got to go. Dee, what do you got to say?
I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head, especially with... See, this is the thing. This is my take, and I talked about this the other night. And Dee Dee says, what's wrong with that, Donovan dancing to Cardi B?
At 54 years old? Come on! Where's the smooth... Yeah! Okay, look. I'm 49 years old. I don't want no 54 mature woman. That's not cool.
What you want her to dance to? Let's straighten it out.
Yeah, let's straighten it out. Let's get it on. R&B.
Cheating in the next room.
Right.
He wanted his woman dancing to like the brown liquor drink songs.
Yes,
okay?
Songs that talk about love, not talk about I'ma suck your dick and you can put it in my ass, blah, 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 because I want that cat. I don't want that. But that's... You know what I'm talking about. So.
All right, well, I would say this.
You're like, oh my God.
You know how I feel about it. I think this is my opinion. I'm not very political, although I do know a little bit about politics. I believe Kamala's mistake was she underestimated black people. See, that's the other thing, too. People aren't giving the black community, black voters, the credit we deserve in dismantling Kamala's campaign, because when she first came out, there's a lot of black people who were ebullient about her becoming, announcing her candidacy. I've even saw people on my page, oh, I donated. And I'm like, why? Mm-hmm. Why did you do that? And then when she started telling me, like, oh, I didn't know. So Kamala came out, as I said the other day, resting on pretty, thinking, okay, the black people going to have my vote. Because even before Kamala was a senator, when she was running for senator, people was likening her to Obama. Mm-hmm. She's the next coming of Obama. And so, in a black community, if you even invoke Obama's name, it's, oh gosh, yes. Mm-hmm. Which is why Joe Biden is doing so well. And so Kamala didn't really have a platform. She just came out on the strength of her being a black woman who was likened to Obama.
And she had a lot of sound bites in the Senate hearings.
A lot of sound bites. She was tough with Trump and all that other stuff. You go girl type of thing. But then once the new black media, or the new black ass media, as I should say, that's what Roland Martin calls us. Mm-hmm. New black ass media didn't know nothing. Started to put her record out there, and as you alluded to, her record on crime. She was part of the Tough on Crime wave. She came into politics in 1990, right? Actually, she came in 4 years before Bill Clinton signed the bill, but it was after Biden had the two other crime bills of 80. It was 86 and 88.
Yeah, right.
So she wrote this whole crime wave, got to be tough on crime, and did a lot of things that was adverse to black community. And black people are still suffering effects. So once the black media got the word out about her and the things she was doing, it started to wake a lot of people up, and she lost a lot of sizzle and air out of her balloon.
Right, and the main reason why she lost sizzle is she did an interview, and she said, "You don't expect me to do something specifically for black people? No. But what are you going to do for Mexicans? Oh, I'm going to do DACA. I'm going to do the people on the border. I'm going to do all that." Now, here's what I'm going to say, and it's her right to say whatever she wants to say, but how do you expect to keep the black vote if you tell them, I'm not going to do anything for you? Say that after you get in office. That's what Obama did the second time.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't get to it, but y'all vote for me this time. I'm telling you.
Well,
and he got in there and didn't do shit for us.
And her mistake was thinking that we were asleep at the wheel. That we were just going to like we normally do, let's keep it real, I'm one of those people. I never lie to you guys that I voted for Obama.
I did too,
mostly
because he's black.
Him being black.
That's
right.
It.
Okay, so she thought we were
the aesthetics.
Yeah, she thought we were going to do the same thing. You know, she's a black one. We're going to vote for her. But as I said, once everything started to come out,
well, think about this: the Democratic Party, overwhelmingly, we give them our vote for nothing.
Right.
So if I was her, I would have thought the same thing. But I definitely wouldn't have said, I ain't doing shit for you. Not until after I got in.
At least, I'll say this about Kamala. At least, and I'm going to get to you guys' comments, at least she was honest.
Right.
At least she was honest.
I'll give her that.
And that was her downfall. Her being honest, and I'm not going to do anything specifically for black people while touting things like DACA.
Right.
And, all the other things, in addition to being tough on black people as, being a prosecutor, DA, and all of that. So that was, to me, that was the main thing, because we know that Democrats cannot win Dog Catcher of the Year without the black vote.
You're not going to do it.
She went from a top tier candidate at one point in time, Kamala was in the lead, to being polling at 2%. I think even at one point in time, Andrew Yang was polling higher than him, which you never even hear about him. That's a whole other topic. But so what I understood and what I read the other day is that donors started to call her.
Yes.
They started to call her and say, hey, you know what? It's not going to be you, boo.
Yeah.
So we want to put our power and money and all that behind another candidate. They didn't say who. This is what the article
Booty
was
gig.
saying. I heard that, and potentially, Biden. So we're not going to be able to fund your campaign anymore. Also, if she needed to make $5 million in 2 weeks, it was impossible for her to do at that point.
Yeah, and it was kind of funny when she launched in Oakland. Right after that launch, guess how much money she?
About $25 million.
About $25 million.
Yeah, about $25 million.
She's gone through $25 million. And then, the sad thing, I really feel bad for her staff, because when you do a political campaign, me and Dee have done a couple local campaigns, and that could go 8 to 9 months of your time. So these people had to move their lives, move to Iowa and these certain strategic places.
Put their lives on hold.
On hold.
Right. Well, because they were going to potentially be going another year if she was to get the nomination.
Right. So they're out there doing their thing. So they depended on this lady for their livelihood.
Right.
And the funny thing is, I hate to say this, but she hired Hillary's white staff.
She had a lot of Hillary Clinton's people. Yeah.
Knifed her when the door got shut.
Well, and that was another thing that's problematic for anybody who's paying attention. She hired a lot of Hillary staff. I mean, Hillary had problems with her own self, so why would you bring somebody else's campaign problems into your campaign?
Yep.
So, Kamala had a lot of issues going on, but let's see what you guys say. So, hello to everyone. And then Didi says, maybe she like it like that. Talking about Cardi B. And Cindy says, what's up, fam? What's happening? And Didi says, Donovan, stop it. You lost me with the dick comment. And Al says, Donovan, in your opinion, what is considered ghetto food at the first of the month?
Top ramen. You trying to make it. Top ramen and, see, back in our day it was the government cheese. We could get that block. We could go get the block. But nowadays, you go to the store, the first of the month with the food stamps, which is, by the way, going to be affecting some people. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. You see these people with carts full of Top ramen. And do you know that black kids especially suffer from high blood pressure because we're feeding these kids high sodium type diets?
Right. Yeah. So and to piggyback off of that, it's not just us. So anyway, Sydney says, doing too much. Yeah, that was Donovan, his rap. And Al says, give Fuzzy Bear back his jacket. Fuzzy Bear said he wants me to be warm, okay?
That's right.
So he says I could wear it. And he also say, Dimitri, he said that, I read that. Give his jacket back, please. And Cindy says, what killed her was I smoked weed and laughed. Yes, that was another thing. And let's give Tulsi Gabbard some credit.
Her fellow Indian woman.
She helped put the other nail in her coffin when she said, hey, you're laughing at, you jailed a lot of black men, especially for smoking marijuana, but then you get on the Breakfast Club and laugh about smoking weed. So it's like, how dare you, think it's funny when you do it, but then there's people who have lost their livelihood behind, policies and things that you were behind. So I honestly think that was the last nail in the coffin that she couldn't recover from. Because you guys noticed, from that point, she kept making up all these policies and initiatives, just like throwing something at the wall just to see what would stick.
And, the sad thing is that laugh was also, that cackle she had, She was talking about locking up these mothers for truancy, and she was laughing about
well,
that.
She wasn't just talking about it; she was doing it.
Yeah.
And her campaign lied. See, and that's the other thing too. Kamala's campaign, or Kamala, whoever. Okay, I say Kamala because it's her campaign. They lied about a lot of stuff. She lied and said, "Well, nobody actually got locked up." And so this, I can't remember which newspaper it was. I think it was L.A. Times or something. A couple newspapers.
They brought out the woman who
her
suffered
name was
from that.
Cherie Penny, I think it was. Where she highlighted what they did to her. And she says, if anybody's child should have been, absent, it should have been mine because she was sick with sickle cell anemia. So that wasn't like I'm just sitting up and not doing anything,
not caring.
So they brought out evidence to say, well, Kamala, you're lying.
And then Kamala's response. See, and this is why you're not a good leader. A good leader takes the good with the bad. Okay, that's a good leader. That's willing to take the bad as well as the good.
Right.
You just can't, unlike Trump, it's just when the economy's good, it's me. When it's not him. Every time they challenged her on her record, whatever it might have been, she was always, well, I didn't know about that. That was my staff.
It was my staff.
That was this. I had no idea this was going on. The Mitrice Richardson thing. All you feminists out there that are into the woman power and all this other stuff. The Mitrice Richardson case was the case where there was misconduct in the L.A. County Sheriff's Department. That girl went missing. They found her 11 months later. She was killed. It's still under suspicious auspices. The father and the mother petitioned the then Attorney General, Kamala Harris, to look into it. Refused to do so.
And this was a black woman, if you didn't already say that. Another thing, too, that she blamed on her office was, I guess, they fumbled an investigation, or they didn't want to investigate the police shooting, and she blamed it on her people. Then the guy who was doing life,
refused because of paperwork. He was a couple of days.
Paperwork that he didn't submit on time. She blamed that on her office as well.
Yeah.
She didn't have anything to do with it.
So if you're the Attorney General and you're the person that's supposed to be in charge and leading, this is a good example of how not to lead. How can you expect to be the President of the United States? We're not talking about Trump right now. The President of the United States, and you don't even know what's going on
you blaming
in your
other people.
office.
Right. Yeah, that'll never work.
The one thing about Trump is he knows what's going on because he's orchestrating it.
I mean, I guess she wanted to be the laissez-faire president.
Yeah. They're doing whatever they're doing over there, and I'm not worried about that.
I guess, you know.
So.
And Didi says, no first of the month food for Donovan is Winco fried chicken. You ain't lying.
Yeah, so who's bringing it to me?
And Al says, people here in Houston thought Kamala was an old school wrestler.
Yes. Yeah, that big brother, come on.
I know you're talking about that. That's a damn shame. But you know what? I'm just gonna go on and say you're joking.
No, he's not.
It's sad because you're probably right in that, we're not very well versed in politics the way we should be.
But we give the vote and expect a different result.
That will never do. Okay? That will never do. And so, that's kind of why the gig is up for Kamala. Kamala just
imploded.
You had $25 million initially, right out the gate. She raised a lot of money, and you wasted it. And you didn't have a platform.
Wait, and here's the sad thing. We're talking about money and fundraising. Now, she had secret donors that were Hillary donors. They had anointed her the chosen one. That was their pick. They said, this is going to be it. It's a woman this time. We got her. This is who we got. $25 million after announcing, Bernie Sanders and a lot of the other Andrew Yangs are getting individual donations of $18 on average.
Right.
From individual people.
Yes.
And Bernie Sanders has, over $1 million? Something in just standby.
Yeah, she, that right there should, if you're a political, what do you call them?
Guru.
Political science student.
Major.
Major, her campaign and what to do and what not to do should really be taught in class. And she just was like, how do you have all that money? Sound like you hired people, I guess. Maybe they didn't know what they were doing, but... Well,
they also said the people she hired were California state people.
I know,
now,
but damn.
California state, as everybody knows, is totally different than the nation. We're giving driver's license to people that aren't even citizens here. So... California's politics is totally dominated by the Democratic Party. So the people that she hired for a national campaign, they're not in touch with what's going on.
Well, I would say this. I'm in public relations, and a lot of you guys already know that. One of the things she should have did was was
hire you.
Yes. She should have been proactive and not reactive. Proactive would have been her and her team getting together and saying, okay, what do I always ask people when I work with them?
Is there anything I need to know that might come out a little bit later? And I did tell you about that goat incident.
Is there anything that I need to know? And this is me speaking from a public relations professional point of view. Is there anything I need to know about you that's going to come out and we're going to have to walk back and fix, right? So the other part of that is, okay, Kamala, you have had these high-profile positions. You are the first black this.
You were with Willie Brown.
Indian, whatever she was claiming.
You were with Willie Brown. We don't know what the situation was with that.
All of that. Let's
clean.
get in the war room and figure out how we're going to talk in order to fix those things.
Yes.
And so if I was her and her people, I would have said, we got to address that stuff right out the gate. Don't wait for somebody to bring it up, and then now you're trying to flounder and you're spending too much time trying to fix it.
Trying to think about it. Because what you're describing there, if you guys watched the debate where Tulsi just knifed her, Kamala couldn't come back. She just put her head down, and if she had a good staff, she would have been ready.
And Joe Biden fell for the same mistake when they were all dogpiling him about his busing thing in a crime bill.
He just sat there, right?
He didn't know what to say, but that's complacency in that no matter what, I'm the front runner. People like me. I'm going to get the vote regardless. So I can say I killed 2 people. I could go out to Times Square and murder.
Exactly.
And shoot somebody and get away with it.
I paid a porn star and I know Jeffrey Epstein and...
So Kamala should have addressed that stuff off the bat. And that way it wouldn't have come out, because that's one thing. And when I was doing my dissertation, I wrote about Anthony Weiner. You guys remember Anthony Weiner? He was the congressman
from New York.
New York.
Sexting.
He was this big time firecracker. A lot of people really like Anthony Weiner. And no pun intended, he ended up tweeting a picture of his wiener out to all of his constituents when he only meant to text it to his side piece.
And Anthony Weiner was married to a Clinton advisor, very high advisor.
Ahmadine.
Very beautiful.
So he was married. So he's a married guy. He ends up accidentally tweeting his wiener, a picture of his wiener, out to all of his constituents. This is why a lot of people shouldn't use Twitter if you don't know what the hell you're doing on the internet.
Yes.
So anyway,
leave that to your staff.
He lied about it, okay? Anthony Weiner, and I'm going to get to you guys' comments. Anthony Weiner lied about him doing. He said he was hacked. Oh my God, somebody hacked into my account and they did this. So people was kind of like, okay,
we'll
maybe
give you the benefit
it's
of the
true. But some investigative reporters started to dig, and they find out that it was actually him, the girlfriend, and side piece services, and the rest is history, right? So he's sorry. He's not going to do it again. He starts to win people over because now he's starting to run for governor.
Got to remember, though, he ran for mayor, New York.
Mayor, whoever it was.
You got to remember, one thing about America, we love comeback stories. Why do you think Rocky is such a great movie?
However.
So people will give you a chance.
He was on the comeback, but he does it again. But this time, he does it with a 15-year-old. Which is why he went to prison, okay? He was sexting and texting a 15-year-old.
Did he go to prison?
Yes, he did.
Or did he go to county?
He went to somebody's jail. I believe he went to prison. He did.
He didn't go to Rikers, even though he's in New York.
He did some time, okay? Now, this man was a high profile, this, that, and the other. So the point that I'm making is when you lie about stuff, it comes out. People will find out. Because
especially if they don't like you.
Yeah, but we live in a society where people want the dirt. They want the dirt. And so a lot of people, especially on the right, didn't like Anthony Weiner because he took people to task, and then he's out there doing this crazy stuff. So anyway, the premise that I'm trying to make is just tell the truth. Tell the truth, especially if you're a public figure, because people are going to eventually find out. And just get ahead of the story.
Right. And then here's another thing about Kamala that really disappointed me. It's okay to make a mistake. What she should have done, you cannot win the nomination in the Democratic Party if you don't have the black vote. There's not that many black candidates, so she basically alienated a whole group of voters.
You know what she did? I'm telling you, I wasn't in the room with her and her peoples, but what they said is, "Don't worry, we got the Negroes.
Right. But
we got them already. She had no plan for black people.
But even if you misstepped in those interviews and those things like that, she could have came back and said, "Look, here's my position. I'm sorry for what I said over here. That was misconstrued. I didn't really think it out. My bad. But here's the deal. At the time that I was doing the crime bill, that was the popular thing to do as a prosecutor. Everybody was, not that you have to, everybody's doing it, but you come up with some kind of apology and you say, I was a little younger then. Now I'm becoming an old hag. And so I'm more mature. I know what's the right thing to do. These are some of the initiatives that I want to, reparations. I want to work on these things. Notice through this whole process, she still did not go back.
She should have just owned it.
Right.
She should have just owned what she did. And I wouldn't even, I guess an apology is nice, but I'm cool with you admitting.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Admit
something,
what you did.
Apology, admit it, say, yeah, I was young, this is my stance at the time, but you know what, moving forward,
right.
I need you to help me.
Or she could have just ran as a Republican.
Thank you.
So anyway.
Thank you.
And Al says, those cat clock eyes, Demetria, are moving today.
Yeah, the Felix the Cat eyes, yeah.
And hey, Dunamis, what's happening? He says, what's funny to me is she said she wouldn't do something just for black people, but then gonna say they hating on black woman, knocking off right. I mean,
it's crazy. And look, and that's okay.
She did it to herself.
That is the biggest thing that eats me up is when, and I had a lot of my black female friends from the East Coast that did not know Kamala's record until I told them. But even after telling them, they were still supporting her, which is their right. I don't have a problem with that. But the minute she drops out, victim. She's a victim now. Oh, they weren't ready for a black woman president. What? Wait. First of all, Kamala never identified as black. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that people weren't ready. She was just a liar. She was a liar, and she
just wasn't a good candidate.
She just was. I mean,
that's it.
Why can't people just embrace that she was not
she wasn't
a good candidate? I mean, like you said too, in a couple of years she might have been ready. To kind of get a lot. She can. Like giving herself a little bit of more time to actually do some good. Right. Do some good.
Champion some bills.
Right. And not that bullshit, anti-lynching bill that she did with Tim Scott and Cory Booker. Now, that's cute.
Right. Now, remember, she also co-authored Bernie Sanders' bill in the House for the progressive health care.
Oh, yeah.
Then she jumped off of it.
Right, yeah.
The millennials are the dominant voting class in America right now, not the boomers. So why would you even, put it like this. If she would have stayed on that thing with Bernie, that could have got her a significant amount of votes.
Well, and that's the other thing, too. I'm glad you brought that up. They're saying that perhaps there's a VP spot for her.
Under the Biden.
I don't buy it, though.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't. The reason why I don't buy that.
They're just trying to get black people to.
Listen, nobody, and I'm going on record to say this. I don't believe anybody's going to put Kamala as the VP because her record is too
horrible.
Mm-hmm. They saw that as a black woman.
She can't even get the black vote.
She doesn't have the black vote. Any candidate running now needs the black vote. Biden is, kind of struggling, and if it's because
he's going to fade.
Because to your point, they're saying that they're these donors are putting their money behind Buttigieg. Mm-hmm. Buttigieg he has 0% of the black vote, so that wouldn't make sense to put Kamala on the VP ticket with him.
Which makes you wonder, the Democratic Party. These are the candidates that you have. To me, the only chance you have is Bernie or Tulsi as a candidate to be viable against a Donald Trump.
Why Tulsi, though?
Because she went against the DNC when they were rigging it. At least she was on enough to go against it. I'm not saying she's going to win, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying she got some issues, too.
Oh, yeah. But compared to the ones that they're calling the front runners, she's going to pull a significant amount of votes than some of the candidates.
I guess.
They don't want Andrew Yang to win. They definitely don't want Bernie to win. And how do we know that? Even Obama has come out and said if he gets Hillary recently.
Hillary has come out. Hillary was in an interview with Howard Stern, and she blamed
Hey, Hillary, you got a thong on?
Bernie Sanders.
Hey, Hillary, do you have a thong on?
Isn't
that Howard Stern show? He used to do that? You got a thong on?
Stupid.
Can I see it?
She blamed Bernie Sanders for her part of her demise in the campaign, I guess, because he didn't drop out soon enough.
Right.
Should have dropped out sooner than hanging on and causing harm to her.
Well, Hillary needs to ask herself this.
And she says she hopes he doesn't do it to the next person.
Right. Hillary's got to ask herself this. Since you rigged the whole DNC and bankrupt them, why even go through this whole primary thing? Just say, I'm the nominee. You guys, rest of you guys sit down. Let's save our money. We're moving forward.
Right. Yeah,
she doesn't notice she never brings that up?
No, it's not going to
How she cheated and how all this stuff that went down.
And Al says Anthony Weiner really sucked. No pun. I actually like Anthony Weiner. It's unfortunate to see him plummet.
That's what I'm saying. And then his wife was very attractive. What was wrong with him?
Well, I mean, if he's sexting 15-year-olds,
it's a mental thing. But his wife was a very attractive woman.
And she took him back after the first time. Yeah,
I know.
And she was.
They're
pregnant.
divorced now. Yeah, they're divorced now.
Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah, I think they are.
I know they divorced, but I had to heard somewhere that maybe
they got back together. I
did, but anyway.
But very attractive woman. So I don't know what his problem was. And that goes to show you.
Right.
You can be the prettiest thing on the world, but
he had a sickness.
Yeah, has.
And Al says, Donovan, do another Kamala impersonation.
No! All boats, let's make this clear. All boats. All tides lift all boats. It's just crazy. She's just crazy.
And, Russell, you sure you want that fight? It says Trump 2020.
If they don't remove him before then.
If he doesn't get, impeached and removed and all.
Well, he's going to get impeached.
I know, but I'm saying and removed.
Yeah.
I think it's a real possibility that Trump is going to be in office another 4 years.
And if he is, what difference is that going to make to you, B?
None. Not going to make me any difference.
Hasn't Trump shook up the political scene to where he's released more black prisoners than Obama did?
And he just provided lifetime funding to HBCUs.
He just opened up under the last year's defense authorization that takes effect this year to where if you're an honorably discharged vet in the VA system between 0 and 100%, you have access to base facilities to use NWR and the commissary and the exchanges.
And I just want to put this out there on the record, okay? Because I get tired of arguing with Negroes.
Yeah, we're not Trump supporters.
Yeah, I get tired of arguing with Negroes over this. Is like, dude.
But we have to be fair. You have to call it when they do good. You have to call it when they do bad.
My thing is this, too. Trump is a douchebag.
Total.
He is. Okay?
Grab him by the pussy.
But as I said, and I always have said, Trump is not black people's problem, per se. We didn't put him there. It's not our job to get him out. All the hell that black people have been going through in America, okay, since we've been over here. You're not going to tell me that now Trump is our boogeyman, and if we don't get rid of Trump, black people are going to combust.
We got to get Trump out there. Yes, Ms. Nancy.
I mean, to get Trump out and get what? What are we going to get?
Look what's going on. Look what he's doing.
What is he doing?
Look at the crimes and stuff that, that affects us rich people.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Did I left that out of the bag by mistake? That's what he's doing. Oh, he just cut food stamps. Doesn't that bother you?
I would if I was getting them, maybe. I don't know, Right. And that's another thing,
Crazy.
So, Negroes want to argue, while you're just counterproductive. You need to get on the same page. We got to get Trump out of here.
Right.
Vote blue no matter who.
Wait, we got to get Trump out. You mean the Trump that was invited to Hillary's daughter's wedding with Jeffrey Epstein and his girlfriend? And
Harvey Weinstein was there too?
Yes. All these people that are in the same group. So what's the difference between a Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, who's trying to get into the circle, a Hillary Clinton? They all run in the same pack.
Right.
So what difference is it going to make?
But nobody seems to be able to answer that. They get mad because you do what you're doing. It's going to allow Trump to get back in there. First of all, I didn't allow him to get in there in the first place. Okay. Right. And if I'm going to help get Trump out of there, I want something for doing that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Listen, I'm 48 years old, so I wasn't here in the 60s.
Al, you didn't hear that, did you?
I wasn't here in the 60s, right. Or whenever the civil rights came about or the inception of it, whatever. Wasn't there then.
But you benefited from it, girl!
Well, how?
They integrated the schools, even though you were about to get clubbed.
You know how many times I was called a nigga at school?
Exactly.
I mean, I'm just saying during this integration, you know how many times I was told I had a big butt, big lips, big nose, and all that. You know how many times I endured that?
And now, as a grown woman, you say,
they
yes, I did.
They buying this shit.
Yeah. And weren't you the girl that started the BSU?
Yes. At my high school.
Yes,
Absolutely.
okay.
So, I mean, I didn't benefit from none of the stuff that the Democratic Party, or Democrat Party, if you will, ushered in. We haven't benefited to this day. So what's in it for me with them? That's a term, what's in it for me, to help get Trump out of office. And if I help get him out of office, is the person I'm going to put in there,
Gonna be any better?
Are they going to be any better, or are we going to be worse off?
Well, you got to remember, we just got laughed at the big union thing. Doesn't that bother you as an American?
No, because I was laughing with him.
That our president is being laughed at?
He should be laughed at. He's a laughing stock.
Well, he's a clown, yeah.
Right. So, I mean, like, give me something concrete, people, and let's see here. Al says, did the woman take Anthony's wiener out of it? You know what?
She did.
Grow up.
She did.
And Russell, you say the Democrats are black people's worst enemy.
Yes.
But you know what? So, Russell, you can't say that too loud around certain Negroes, because in their head starts to spinning around, their eyes start rolling back in their head, and then, they start spewing green vomit at you.
Yes.
Because, you're talking down on the Democrat Party. And as I said,
because they've done so much for black people.
I'm nonpartisan. I don't ascribe to any party at all.
Me neither.
So I may or may not vote depending on if it's something for me to vote for. And I'm not ashamed to say that I'm not going to vote if there's nothing for me to. I'm not going to waste gas, time, and energy to watch you see my ass into the voting booth and get nothing when I leave.
Well, then vote by mail.
I'm not going to do that, okay? I'm not going to waste no postage. It's probably free.
Right.
But I'm not going to waste my time doing that. I'm just not. And like I said, I don't care who gets mad about it. It's fun. This is the thing that just really just chaps my hide.
Uh-oh. That's a lot of hide.
Like, we as black people get mad because we won't get on the same page with some bullshit. But we don't want to get on the same page with something that's actually going to help us.
Yes.
Why do we get mad? Like, if you mad at me because I won't get on the same... I've been on that page and I ain't got nothing from that page. Right. I want to flip the page over and see if there's something over there for me. Like, come over here with me.
Right.
Let's try a new drink.
Let me ask you this. Recently if you guys that follow me on Facebook, go to Donovan Sadiq. I'm on Facebook. I broke a man's brain just based on political stuff. And I keep getting asked by the Trumpsters, well, where's the crime? There's no doubt he did it. He abused his office. There's no doubt there was a crime. To defy a congressional subpoena is a crime. Period. So he's going to get impeached. But I was putting these facts out. And like I said, and it's stupid of me to argue with the Trumpster with facts.
Yeah.
That's stupid. Don't even do that. The guy, instead of having an intelligent conversation at 49 years old and a little bit older than me, loses his mind and just starts cursing me out. And of course, notice he's cursing me out on the internet, because if he was anywhere around here, he'd get his ass whooped.
He'd get them hands.
Right, he'd get the hands.
Oh, yeah, well, he's being nice. He called them all kind of body parts and...
Exactly.
A whole bunch of stuff. I was like...
And what kills me is we're supposed to be the adults. And we've got children and grandchildren that are looking at us and how we conduct ourselves, whatever. I've got a lot of Trump friends that voted for Trump. That's their business. And I respect that vote. And a lot of people ask me, they go, you always keep saying the veteran thing, whatever it is. Here's my thing when I say veteran. I don't care how much of a redneck you are. If you are a veteran, you have more so a right to speak that bullshit that's coming out of your mouth, more so than anybody else, because you put your feet in the fire and went out there. Unlike those of us who inherited rights. You know what I mean? Anybody can say, well, yeah, I got the right to do that. But did you work for it?
And how many times was you deployed?
Over 16 times.
16 times.
That's in this conflict. If we go back to Ethiopia and Desert Storm, Desert Shield, that's a totally different ballgame there. Add that in there. So, so that's when I say the difference between a veteran and a veteran.
That's when you draw the line, damn it.
Exactly. And then and I draw a line on this. I'm on my page. I'm not going to your page saying Obama's the greatest thing. And then here's another thing about Obama. When Obama was president for 8 years, all of my anti-Obama friends just totally disrespected the man. And you know what I did?
And that tan suit was a tragedy.
Yes.
I mean, God, Lee, he shouldn't have wore that.
Yes. And Michelle showing her shoulders. And she's a man and all this other stuff.
She didn't have no stockings on
for
under her dress.
8 years, I respected your right to say what you want to say, because I know it's bullshit. So again, I think I don't go on people's pages and say, "Hey, I'm going to post this on your page," and no, I don't do that. I don't even argue with you on your page. I'm on my page. So respect people's opinion. That's all I'm asking you to respect the opinions.
That's too much like right.
Yeah, just respect their opinion. That's all.
And let's see here. Al says Donovan D is feeling real good because we are not going to Magic Mountain next week. That's right. I told him.
No Magic Mountain, huh?
No.
Universal Studios. Hit Universal.
Universal Studios want $100 and some per ticket.
He might want to look at his veterans benefits and see if they have their tickets.
Anyway.
Look, he's going right now on his phone.
Right. And Dunamis, he said, Demetra and Donovan, y'all got my vote. What are we running for?
Well, you're 6 years too